I like Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. I think it's a good game. Now that that's out of the way, it's been 1 year since the release of Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. In the short span of 12 months, a lot has changed. The meta has developed, new characters have joined the fight, balance patches have turned the gameplay on its head, and so much more. Has the game been redeemed? What better time to check back in with City of the Wolves and see what's new and what's changed? We're taking the next bus to Southtown and going straight into the City of the Wolves. Is this game dead? It's a question I'm sure some of you are wondering. After all, modern fighting games aren't known for their huge player bases. The Steam charts look rough, but I can report that this game is most certainly alive. I've been playing a little bit each week for the past couple of months, and I've had no trouble finding matches in ranked or casual. It's not the most popular fighter out there, but it's playable. The crossplay and rollback netcode are doing a great job of keeping the community connected. I've played with people from North America, South America, and Europe on PlayStation and PC, and I rarely run into an unplayable match. This goes to show that good netcode and crossplay are essential to the longevity of a fighting game. With the elephant properly addressed, what's new in the City of the Wolves? Shortly after release, City of the Wolves entered its first season. Season 1 consisted of 5 DLC characters: Andy, Ken, Joe, Chun-Li, and Mr. Big. Ken and Chun-Li are guest characters from a small indie game called Street Fighter, while Mr. Big is from the Art of Fighting, last seen in the King of Fighters 11. I wasn't crazy about this season because 90% of the characters are Shotos. Andy and Joe really should have been in the base roster. Thankfully, they have some new moves that make them feel fresh from their KOF counterparts. This is the coolest Andy has been in a long time, and Joe's redesign is an artistic achievement. Chun-Li and Ken carry over some Street Fighter DNA into Fatal Fury, like being able to cancel EX moves in the Super, and they've got their own custom KO screen. Mr. Big has great range, a scary mix-up game, and a command grab. Halfway through the season, the ranked system was overhauled. Instead of letter ranks, it now follows a more traditional bronze, silver, gold framework. Not a huge change, but it's definitely easier to understand. Training mode and combo trials had a bunch of small improvements. Labbing is easier than ever thanks to the frame meter and improved reversal menu. The new combo trials are much better at teaching practical combos for each character. This is a big one. You can finally pick random stage online and even exclude stages so you never have to play on that 30 FPS train stage ever again. Lastly, new KO screens were implemented for supers and hidden gears. Season 1 was a solid first season. Nothing too crazy. Safe DLC characters and some nice quality of life changes, but they needed to step things up for Season 2. And that's exactly what they did. That sentence has become the understatement of the century after the anniversary update. Season 2 kicked off in January 2026 with a new season pass and a substantial balance patch. Up to this point, the meta was dominated by Kain, Hotaru, and Hokotamaru. They ruled the meta with an iron fist, infesting tournaments. The trio was just better than the rest of the cast. Then the Season 2 balance patch came along and provided some much needed nerfs. Character variety in tournaments has never been better. A huge change was made to EX moves. Previously, all EX moves would grant a hard knockdown. Not anymore. Now, if you want a hard knockdown, you need to throw, use a super, or use Rev Blow. This one change has done wonders for the game's pace. I can't imagine ever going back to the vanilla version now. Season Pass 2 consists of 6 characters: Jaehoon, Geese, Blue Mary, Wolfgang Krauser, a yet unrevealed character who is probably Ryo, Sakazaki, and Kenshiro from the manga Fist of the North Star. Jaehoon plays like his father Kim, with small twists here and there. Geese might be dead, but that doesn't stop him from kicking your butt from beyond the grave. I really appreciate that they brought back the pretzel motion for his Raging Storm and the Deadly Rave input. Blue Mary is the same mobile grappler you remember, but with a new command dash that makes her pressure all the more scarier. Krauser, the latest character, is a damage monster who can destroy your rev gauge. Compared to Season 1, Season 2's characters have more varied gameplay styles and are more interesting. Kenshiro is pretty out of place. I struggle to see why they're putting him in a Fatal Fury game, especially when there are a well of Fatal Fury and Art of Fighting characters they could pick from. At least he's not another celebrity guest. Aside from the characters, City of the Wolves got a small collab with Street Fighter 6. It consists of 2 extra costumes for Rock and Preacha, a new stage based off of the basketball minigame from Street Fighter Third Strike, and a brand new Episodes of Southtown episode. JP is causing trouble in Southtown, and it's up to Ken, Chun, and Rock to stop him. Enemies from Street Fighter 6's World Tour make an appearance along with new skills like Drive Impact, Drive Parry, and Drive Rush. It's not a major piece of content, but it's a fun crossover, and I wish more fighting games did small updates like this. Small updates like that are nice. Now how about the biggest update in the game's history? For its 1-year anniversary, SNK has dropped a capital H, huge update. If you haven't picked up the game yet, I have some good news. You can get City of the Wolves without any DLC for just $20. That's a steal. In terms of content, this update added the following: an entirely reworked UI for every menu, ringouts from Real Bout Fatal Fury return in the newest stage, a new, fully voiced story mode, Kine got a brand new costume, a small balance patch, and Wolfgang Krauser with his stage. My favorite addition is being able to queue for online matches without getting kicked out of training mode. It took him a year, but hey, better late than never. They certainly spared no expense for the anniversary, another stellar update for City of the Wolves. SNK have done an amazing job with this game's post-launch support, and the anniversary update just goes to show that they are willing to bend over backwards to make City of the Wolves the best game they've made to date. City of the Wolves' gameplay was great when it came out, and it's only gotten better. Initially, I didn't like the rev system, but it's grown on me. Once you get used to them, the EX cancels aren't that bad, and if you overuse them, you'll be overheated in no time. I feared that the defensive options would be too strong and the game would become a turtle fest. Thankfully, this isn't the case. Just Defense, Rev Guard, and Hyper Defense all have their strengths and weaknesses. One isn't better than the other. I can't say the same about SPG. Picking your SPG position is supposed to be a big decision, but Final SPG is clearly the best. It guarantees you'll be able to survive longer than the others and gives an insane comeback factor. It's hard to pass up. One feature, or attack in this case, I've come to dislike is Revlo. Don't get me wrong, it isn't an overpowered mechanic, it has multiple counters, it's just really annoying. It's armored, safe on block, and recovers pretty fast. It promotes Unga Bunga Gorilla Mash gameplay where you fire it off with reckless abandon. If Rev Blow was removed from the game tomorrow, people would be celebrating in the streets. A major complaint about City of the Wolves' gameplay that I didn't notice on launch is its speed. The game is slow for SNK standards. I've talked to a few KOF players who haven't touched this game, and they all cite this as their main issue. I don't have a problem with the game's pace, but I see what they're saying. I still stand by my point that if City of the Wolves had lanes and ringouts as a main mechanic, this game would have been so much more interesting. Regardless, the game is downright addicting. It all comes down to the system mechanics. Surviving being overheated, turning the tables with a well-timed hyper defense, or baiting an opponent's reversal with the perfect just defense. There is no better feeling, and it's why month after month, I keep coming back. The single player was my biggest issue with the game on release. I believe in second chances, so I gave Episodes of Southtown another go, and it's worse than I thought. The RPG mechanics are shallow and it takes too long to unlock skills, and it's all just to fight the same cookie-cutter, lobotomized enemies that don't pose a challenge. On paper, EOST is a great idea, but they need to lean harder into the RPG mechanics, give the player more ways to customize their fighter's moveset. Also, ditch the text bubbles. It's such a boring way to present the story. At the very least, they could have voiced them. The new story mode has much better presentation, and even that is just basic portraits and dialogue boxes. At least you can unlock new patterns for color edit, which remains this game's best mode. It really lets players express their creativity. If you're interested in City of the Wolves for single player, do yourself a favor and buy the $20 edition. Or watch the cutscenes for free on YouTube. A narrative has been forming, especially with the anniversary update, that City of the Wolves has received some sort of redemption or revival. That is a gross mischaracterization. City of the Wolves was a great game on release, and it's only gotten better with each update. SNK has produced more content for City of the Wolves in a year than most fighting games get out in two. The King of Fighters 15 had a lot of issues during its lifespan that took way too long to fix. But with City of the Wolves, it's been an entirely different ballgame. It's great to see SNK trying to make City of the Wolves the best game it could be. City of the Wolves' first year has been nothing short of phenomenal, and I cannot wait to see what the future brings. Personally, I would like to see replay takeover and a way to share custom colors. The future is now. If you haven't picked up City of the Wolves, there is no better time than now to do so. City of the Wolves is not the best fighting game ever, and the gameplay won't jive with everyone, but I'm sure enjoying my stay in the City of the Wolves.